the 7Artisan EF to RF adapter. It does exactly what it's called. Hello, my name is Jonathan Palfrey. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe as always, as it massively helps me out. Now today I'm going to give you a very quick review of the 7Artisan EF to RF adapter. Now just so that you're completely clear, 7Artisan did actually send me this to review, although I made no promises in terms of what I would say, or even if I would do a review at all. This is going to be a very quick one because actually there's not too much to talk about. I mean, the first question of course you're going to ask is how does it compare to the official adapter from Canon? After all, this thing isn't that expensive anyway, so do you really need a cheap alternative? Now, if you've seen my recent video talking about how Canon seemed to be pushing down on any sort of third-party RF lenses, you might be a bit concerned about whether the 7Artisan actually works with Canon cameras moving forward. Right now on my EOS R, it works absolutely fine. I can't promise that will be always the case. Canon may do firmware updates across their cameras that stop this thing from working, but hopefully that won't be the case when it comes to these adapters, and maybe they're just targeting the lenses instead. So what are the similarities and the differences between the 7Artisan adapter and of course the official Canon one that you often get with the cameras as standard? First off, let's talk about build quality, and well, there is a bit of a difference. The Canon one definitely does feel a bit more solid, it's a bit more weighty, and you can definitely tell it's the official option in terms of its sort of design and just the way that it actually feels in the hand. When it comes to the 7Artisan, it's not to say that it's in any case bad build quality at all. It's still a metal design, nice strong mounts. There doesn't seem to be any play, at least in the one I've got here. And that does have the additional benefit of having this tripod mount on the bottom as well. So if you've got a semi-heavy lens, this actually might be a better option for taking that weight off the front of the mount compared to what the Canon one offers you. The Canon one does have a rubber seal on the back, which probably does help with weatherproofing, whereas the 7Artisan doesn't have anything there. That said, I don't think I would want to use either of these adapters in bad conditions. I think, at the end of the day, if you're using an adapter, that's an extra point where water could seep in. Other than that though, I can't really see anything wrong with the actual build of the 7Artisan. It does an absolutely fine job, especially considering the price. Now, of course, a much more important point is how well does this thing function? Does it work just as good at autofocus and aperture control as the official Canon one? Well, I tested on a few lenses, and both official Canon ones and also Sigma lenses, because I thought maybe, Sigma lenses being not official, they might struggle a bit more. They might not be that quite instant communication like you get with an own brand lens on a Canon camera. And well, when testing, I really couldn't really see any difference between the 7Artisan and the Canon adapter. On the EOS R, in both video and photography, the autofocus worked great. As I clicked on the screen, it quickly adjusted straight to the foreground and then quickly onto the background when I clicked on that, without any hesitation, without any issues of it kind of drifting whatsoever. I did the same test in video mode as well, and similar results. There was no issues whatsoever with the 7Artisan adapter. It did a brilliant job there as well. So it's quite clear that if you're looking for a cheap adapter, this one does a great job, and you don't need to go out and buy necessarily the Canon option. Now, the Canon one isn't that expensive, so you could say, well, why wouldn't you just go for that anyway? But, we have to understand that some people really are pushing their budgets, even if they're going for something like an R7 or R10, and maybe they just don't want to spend that extra bit of money. The £50–60 difference between these two, that could be enough to buy, say, another memory card or another battery. For maybe professionals, that seems like, well, that surely doesn't matter that much. That price difference really doesn't matter. But I think if you're starting out, every little penny counts, especially nowadays when it comes to buying your first kit. So who is this for? Well, quite clearly, it is the budget option out there. It is great if you're starting out. As I say, if you've got an R7 or R10 and you just need an adapter and maybe you just don't want to spend the extra money on the Canon one, or you just can't find it, then I think the 7Artisan is a great option, especially considering the price. You really won't be disappointed whatsoever. I think for professionals who already may have the Canon adapter, then this could be a really good just backup that you could chuck in your bag. It's a small cost just to know you've got a backup option in case anything ever went wrong with your main adapter. Finally, it could just be a great affordable option to convert all of your EF lenses to RF pretty much permanently. You could stick one of these on each of your EF lenses and now it's set as an RF. I know a photographer friend of mine who has sort of switched across to RF and he's got all the main RF lenses, but there are still a couple of lenses that he wants to use on EF, and he finds it really annoying having to do the change of the EF lenses while keeping the adapter on, but then when he obviously switches to RF lenses, you've got to take the whole thing off, and it's just a fiddly process, an extra step that isn't really that enjoyable. Well, because these are so affordable, you could buy multiple of them and just leave them on the back of each camera. And I think that's an area where these adapters could become really valuable. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.